So dear students, welcome you all. In the last class, we have discussed in detail about the differences between natural and man-made fibers with respect to their production, properties and end-use applications. I hope you understand about the topic, in what way these natural fibers are different from man-made fibers. Okay. Now, today's class, we are going to discuss about the important operations in the production of synthetic fibers or man-made fibers. Okay, just like natural fibers, there are a lot of operations after getting the fiber where the fiber has to process through different operations so that finally we are getting a continuous length of yarn. So here also, in case of man-made fibers, we don't have exactly those operations here, but even then, right from selection of monomer and converting that monomer into polymer, and from the polymer to get continuous length of yarns, there are so many operations that are involved. That is what we are going to discuss in this topic. The main objective of today's class is to impart knowledge in making of man-made fibers. And the output you are going to get at the end of the presentation is you will be able to understand the different operations in production of man-made fibers. Okay, so without further delay, we will start discussing on today's topic, important operations in the production of synthetic fibers. First of all, you have to understand the synthetic fiber production involves the use of 100% chemicals. The use of 100% chemicals. We are not going to use any other natural sources. Only we have to select the all chemicals depending upon the end-use applications which we are expecting for. Okay. Now, this fiber forming process, which involves two important operations. That means in order to make the man-made fibers, it involves mainly two important operations. Production of polymer. What do you mean by a polymer? The name itself you can easily understand. Poly is nothing but many, mer is nothing but units. That means a polymer consists of many units. Okay. So the first operation or first important operation which is involved in this man-made fiber production is production of polymer. Depending upon the end-use applications of particular polymer, we have to select the monomers, and from the monomers we have to produce the polymer. That is an important operation and the first operation in the production process. And the second one is, after getting the polymer, we cannot make the polymer or we cannot use the polymer as such for the end-use applications. We have to make the fiber. That means we have to convert the polymer into fiber by a process called spinning process. Okay. For fibers based on raw materials that are derived from nature, the step 1 is not involved. Say for example, in case of regenerated fibers. For regenerated fibers, in our last discussion also we have discussed where the input material is nothing but the natural source. Say for example, in case of viscose rayon fiber, where we are taking the wood pulp as a natural source. Later, after getting the wood pulp, we are reacting with different chemicals. Then we are taking for the spinning process to make continuous length of yarn. That's why here it is mentioned in case of regenerated fibers, where we have to follow the whatever the second process is there. But the first step is eliminated in case of regenerated fibers. When it comes to 100% man-made fibers, where the production process should start with production of polymer and then conversion of polymer into fiber. Okay, now let us discuss in detail about what are the different stages in production of a polymer, or what are the different routes that are available to make the polymer. Okay, now there are two important principal mechanisms for synthesizing the fiber forming polymer. You have to understand this term, fiber forming polymer. That means the polymer which can able to form fibers, and that fiber can able to use it for different applications. Okay. Now the first important principal mechanism is condensation polymerization or step growth polymerization. Again I am repeating, condensation polymerization or step growth polymerization, and the second one is addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization. So again I am repeating, there are two important principal mechanisms in making the polymer. That means the conversion of monomer to polymer. Monomer is nothing but mono is stands for single, mer stands for unit, that is single units. That is polymer is nothing but we are making many number of units with the help of small units. That process of converting from monomer to polymer is called as polymerization process. There are two important principal mechanisms of polymerization. One is condensation polymerization, second one is addition polymerization. Now let us have some brief discussion on what is this condensation polymerization and how the polymer is produced in this condensation polymerization. Now if you look at this condensation polymerization, where the reactions are carried out in a stepwise, that is stepwise reactions of functional groups, and each reaction proceeding with elimination of small molecules, usually water. Elimination of small molecules, usually water. Here you can see in this chemical reaction, we are taking two bifunctional monomers. One is dicarboxylic acid and second one is dialcohol. So by reacting these two things, two monomers, it leads to a final polymer, which is nothing but polyester here. So here this reaction is followed by a removal of water molecules. Usually it is water molecules. This is called as condensation polymerization. The best example is the production of polyester. Okay. So when the molecular weights of condensation polymerization exceeds 10,000, they can be drawn into tough fibers, that is the fibers which are having exceptional properties. Okay. Next, coming to addition polymerization. The name itself you can easily understand, where whatever the monomers we are selecting, each and every monomer is simply added to each other. Thereby it leads to a production of a final polymer, which is nothing but addition polymerization process or chain polymerization process. Now you can see addition polymers are formed by addition of unsaturated monomers to the growing chain without the elimination of water or any other molecules. Here you can see the best example, the formation of polyethylene polymer. So we are taking ethylene monomer here, and from the ethylene monomer where polyethylene is produced through this addition polymerization process. So where we don't have any kind of byproduct here. Okay. Now this consequently in the polymer the same number of elements are present as in the corresponding monomer. That means, so the number of monomers you are using, that is directly proportional to the number of monomers that are present in a final polymer. Okay. Now, so in these ways where we are producing the polymers. That means in the production of polymer involves, there are two important polymerization principles that are involved. One is addition polymerization or second one is condensation polymerization techniques. Okay, depending upon the monomers we are selecting and depending upon the type of properties we are expecting from a particular polymer, either we can produce through condensation or addition polymerization process. Okay, now the polymer is produced. That means now we are having polymer in our hand. Now we have to make fibers out of this polymer. Understand? Now either through condensation polymerization or addition polymerization process, we have produced the polymer. Now we are having the polymer with us. Now from this polymer, we have to make continuous length of yarns. Understand? So this process of converting the polymer into fiber, so which is nothing but a process called spinning. Process called spinning or extrusion. And spinning itself, it is not sufficient. Spinning itself is not sufficient. After spinning, we have to carry out certain operations which we call it as post-spinning operations. Okay. Now here you can see in this image, so where the polymer is there, the polymer here we are melting the polymer and we are producing continuous length of yarns. Soon after, the filaments that are produced, where we are passing the cool air, which is nothing but one of the important post spinning operations, and then we are applying some finish here, and then the filaments are drawn between two rollers, then it is winding onto a bobbin. Okay, so likewise where the polymer is converted into fiber. Again I am repeating, where we have produced a polymer. With this polymer we have to make continuous length of yarns. Continuous length of yarns. So this process of converting polymer into continuous length of yarn, we call it as spinning process. So in the spinning process we are getting continuous length of yarns here, just like you can see in the image also. Okay, so soon after the filaments that are produced, we cannot wind all the filaments as such onto bobbin. So in between we have few operations which are nothing but post spinning operations. You can clearly see in this image. You can clearly see in the image. Okay, now let us discuss in detail about what is the spinning process, what are the different spinning process that are spinning techniques that are available to make continuous filament of yarns. In the same way, what is this post spinning operation and what is the main importance of this post spinning operations, and how the filament is formed, that is after production, how it is subjected to these post spinning operations, and finally it is winded onto a bobbin. Okay. You can see there are two important post spinning operations. One is drawing and then heat setting. Okay. Now let us start discussing about the spinning of polymers. The fiber forming polymers can be converted into filaments using two principal routes. That is, once the polymer is there, we already know the conversion of polymer into fiber is nothing but spinning. There are two important principles that are involved in making this process. One is melt spinning process. That means if you look at the name, easily you can understand melt spinning. That means melting is nothing but what? If you take a solid and if you start heating the solid, what will happen? Where after some time the solid will start melt. Understand? Now whatever the molten solution we are getting, with that we are producing continuous length of yarn. That is called as melt spinning. Now the second one is solution spinning. The name itself you can easily understand, where we are producing continuous length of yarn with the help of high viscous solution. Okay. Now you can see here where there are three different spinning techniques you can see in the image. For the first one is melt spinning, second and third one is solution spinning. The solution spinning further it has classified into wet spinning and dry spinning. Okay, now you can see there are differences you can observe from each and every spinning technique. In case of melt spinning, you can see that melted polymer chips are there. That is, polymer chips we are melting and then we are passing through spinneret and continuous length of yarns are producing. In case of solution spinning, both dry and wet spinnings, where the polymer we are dissolving in a suitable solvent through which we are producing continuous length of yarns here. So this is called as solution spinning, and the first one is melt spinning. The first one is melt spinning and the rest of the two are nothing but wet spinning and then dry spinning. Okay. In the later classes we will be discussing in detail about what is wet spinning and what is dry spinning. coming to the post-spinning operations. That means, so here you can see the filament is produced. Now, is it possible, do you think, is it possible to take the filament directly and wind it onto your bobbins? No, obviously no. Why? Because whatever the filaments that are coming out from the spinneret, where in case of melt spinning, it is in wet state. It is in its molten state. Understand? It is in its molten state. Now, if you start winding onto bobbin immediately, what will happen? One filament, it will stick to another filament, or the filament will stick to the bobbin surface. Is it right? To avoid that kind of problems, where soon after the filament that is produced, where we have to make the filaments solidify. In case of melt spinning, and in case of solution spinning, we have to remove the solvent which is there in the solution. Understand? After that, where we are applying some finishes, which is nothing but spin finish, so which will remove the static charges, and also it provides some lubrication to the filaments, and then it is subjected to a process of drawing, then it is winding on to bobbins. Okay, so the post-spinning operations mainly involved in where to provide a temporary finish, which is nothing but spin finish, and then a drawing process, which is nothing but stretching process. Okay, in most of the cases, as spun fibers do not have a properties required for a fiber and are therefore subjected to a process called drawing process. So why? Because during stretching, what will happen is, for example, so 1 centimeter length of fiber we are taking, so that we are stretching up to 3 centimeters. During this stretching process, what happens is, where the molecules will align in the direction of length of the filament, and orientation will take place. So because of this orientation and all, where what will happen is, where the polymer attains good properties, good strength, good resistance towards chemicals, light, all these things. Okay, so soon after the drawing, where we have a process called heat setting to stabilize the fiber dimensionally stable. Okay, the stabilization that occurs during heat setting is due to post crystallization and stress relaxations in the fiber. Now you can see here where the filaments, after getting, where it has been given with this spin finish application, then you can see drawing and heat setting operations. So why we are doing drawing here? During drawing process, simply we are stretching. So here you can see 2 rollers are there. Simply we are maintaining the differences in the speeds of the rollers, surface speeds of the rollers, so that what will happen, one roller will rotate at higher speeds than the first roller. Obviously what happened, some kind of dragging effect is created over the filaments, some kind of pulling is created over the filaments, so that what will happen, obviously, where the filament will start stretch. That's what I have given you a small example. If you take 1 centimeter length of filament, if you just simply stretch it up to 3 centimeters, now what will happen? What is happening at 3 centimeters? Where all the molecules, it will start align onto the length of, that is, axis of the filament, so that the orientation takes place, that is, arrangement of molecules to the yarn axis will take place. That gives, that imparts, or that improvises the crystallization in the filaments. Crystallization is nothing but compact arrangement of molecules. There won't be any gaps in the polymer structure. So this is very, very important for any kind of man-made fibers. For any type of man-made fiber, if you take a crystallization rate is very, very important. That will decide the final end-use applications or final polymer or final filament properties. And here, along with drawing, you can see heat setting also it is taking place. Heat setting is nothing but what? The filaments are subjected to heat. The filaments after drawing is subjected to heat. So that what will happen? Where the filaments will get stable at that dimensions. So that dimensional stability will attain for the filaments. Dimensional stability will attain for the filaments. Okay, so this is all about the important operations in production of synthetic fibers. So if you look at right from the beginning, we have seen the selection of polymer, that is conversion of monomer into a polymer through different polymerization techniques, that is condensation polymerization and addition polymerization, where the polymer formation takes place. Okay, in case of condensation polymerization, what is happening? We are taking two monomers. So each one monomer, the first and second monomer, these two things will get react. It results in a final polymer by elimination of water molecules. That is called as condensation polymerization. The best example is the formation of polyester. And second polymerization technique, it is addition polymerization technique, where the best example is polyethylene. So here what is happening? So where ethylene monomers we are taking, each monomer is joining together. That is like in the form of chain. That's why it is also called as chain growth polymerization process, which doesn't result in annihilation of any kind of molecules, or it may not be anything. Okay, there won't be any byproducts in this addition polymerization process. So the first step is production of polymer, either through condensation or addition polymerization technique. Now we have polymer with us. From the polymer we have to make continuous length of yarns. From the polymer we have to make continuous length of yarns. So how we are making continuous length of yarns? By a process called spinning process. Okay, so where either through melt spinning or either through solution spinning. In case of melt spinning, we are melting the polymer and then we are producing continuous length of yarn. In case of solution spinning, what we are doing, where instead of melting the polymer, we are preparing the solution. Say for example, it is very simple. If you take water and if you just started adding sugar, what will happen? Sugar will slowly dissolving in the water. The same way here, we are taking a solvent, that may be water or that may be any other organic solvent. We are simply putting polymer. Now what will happen? The polymer started dissolving in this solvent, which results in a solution. So with this viscous solution, we are producing continuous length of yarn, which is called as solution spinning. Okay, so either in case of melt spinning or solution spinning, after production of continuous length of yarns, where we have to do some kind of operations like post spinning operations, say for example application of spin finish, drawing and then heat setting. By doing all these things, then only we have to wind the filament onto bobbins. Otherwise what will happen? If you start winding the filament as it is, which is coming out from the process, if you started winding on it, what will happen? Where in case of melt spinning, might be the filament might stick to the bobbin surface or it may stick to each other. In case of solution spinning, where the filament, it consists of a solvent, which is an undesirable thing, which will give a lot of difficulties in the processing part. That's why we are just settling the filaments. Afterwards we are giving some kind of a finish called spin finish, temporary finish. In the earlier discussions also we discussed about static charges. What do you mean by static charges there? Static charge is nothing but the charges which are not moving, that is which are there in the surface of the filament itself. That is the biggest problem. To reduce the static charge generation and to provide lubricity, we are giving spin finishes. Later we are subjecting the filaments to drawing, that is we are obtaining the orientation in the filament structure and then doing heat setting to have the stabilization, that is dimensional stabilities. Okay, then the filament is winded on to bobbins. So this is all we have discussed in today's class. I hope you understand the class, and I hope you, whatever the outcome I just told you in the beginning, I hope you attain that outcome. Okay, so thank you all. Thanks for listening. And next class we are going to discuss in detail about principles of fiber forming polymer. Now in today's class we have discussed, we have a polymer. Okay, from the polymer we are producing filaments. It is not possible to produce filaments from each and every polymer which is available or which we are making. There are certain properties which required for a particular polymer. Okay, we will discuss all those properties which are required for a polymer to make continuous length of yarns in the next class. Thank you all.